Welcome back to TSC Talks, episode 39. My name is Torian Daniels. I'm here with
Mr. Gordon.
And Ethan Murphy.
In this episode, we're going to be recapping March Madness, talking about transfer portal updates. We're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs and a little bit on the Masters. To start out, we're going to talk about March Madness. So what did y'all think about the tournament?
Well, according to the brackets that we all did, Ethan had the closest to the actual play. So congratulations and give props to Ethan over there. Ethan, what was it about all the teams that that helped you guess that somewhat correctly?
Yeah, I think the main reason that I won the bracket was because I think I correctly predicted the national championships.
Right.
What went into that decision was ultimately just I looked at Duke's past in the last couple of seasons and saw that with Cooper Flag, they had 5 NBA players on the team last year and they didn't do anything. And I'm not as high on the Boozer brothers as a lot of other people are. I just thought that how things were going, especially after almost losing to a 16 seed and on the ropes for a lot of the TCU game, I was just not impressed. And I think that they were due for something like this to happen, a collapse, and that's exactly what happened. And UConn's a team that's always kind of poised to go on a deep March Madness run, and that's exactly what they did. So, I think I knew that Michigan was probably going to win it all. I mean, if you saw what they did in the regular season, and even some of the post. I mean, they had close games, they had blowouts, they lost some games. They had everything you needed to be a championship contender. They developed, they adapted, and they became ultimately the national champion. So that's ultimately what went into how the bracket went.
I was way off. I'd pick Florida to win. I was putting a lot of stock into them, just kind of, repeating. I thought they were pretty poised. I thought they looked pretty solid. To be honest, I didn't get to catch too many. I know both of you guys are Michigan fans, but I didn't watch that many Michigan games this season. And I think what really contributed to them winning the whole thing was something you brought up a long time ago, was their depth. And it's something you've talked about as well. They were really deep as a college team. Yeah. They had a lot of experience. It was just kind of grabbed from all over college basketball for this team this season. What was it? People were calling them like they were calling them the militia or something like that. The guys that are paid to come in. But I was really impressed by what's his name, Lindenberg.
Lindenborg.
He really impressed me as a guy that not necessarily the star of the team, but he was kind of the glue guy that fit in, like whatever you all needed at the time is kind of what he gave you all, whether it was three-point shooting or rebounding. And plus, just as a college player, he's big. Like, he was tough to defend. He could get to his spots. But he really impressed me as an overall smart player. But yeah, I mean, that depth, I think, is really what carried Michigan this year. And it's not something you really see in college basketball too often, especially right now, which the transfer portal, which we're going to talk about. But it's really hard to have depth anymore with this transfer portal, because we've got guys that are going to mid-major teams just because they're getting a big paycheck. So it's a weird landscape. But congratulations, Ethan, and congratulations to both of you all. I'm actually happy as your all's teacher. I've had you all for quite a few years now, and being able to see you all get to celebrate that championship year, your senior year, I think kind of goes together. Yeah. So it was exciting for me to get to see you guys celebrate that one.
I think a lot with that win, too. I think because a lot of people thought they were going to win, but I think it's because the regular season. We had close losses, close wins, overtime wins. We lost to Duke, which is like, we lost to Duke in a what's it called?
Invitational.
Yeah, invitational, and like that wasn't a road or away game. So it was like kind of prepared us for March. So I feel like our schedule throughout the year has really prepared us for the tournament, which I feel like a lot of teams don't really have. They either like playing bad teams and they win the whole season, so they just expect that in the tournament, which doesn't happen. So I just feel like everything just kind of came together with our season and let us win the championship.
Yeah.
So.
And to add on to that, I think another reason why Michigan won it all was because of the fact that the starting lineup was so even. You can go back to every single game in the tournament run. You had the 16 seed game. Morez Johnson took over. I think he had 100% field goal percentage. And then it was Lindenborg, and then I forget who it was for Alabama, but in the championship, you had Mara, who did really good against Arizona, and then Ellie Cadeau, of course, won most outstanding player of the tournament or something along those lines. And just how even they were. There was no one single solidified superstar that you could target. I mean, all points of the court, you had to guard them and give 100%, and I think that's why they won.
Which was another impressive thing is usually you see this in NBA. You don't see it too much in college, but everybody on the team knew their role. Like, they played their role. Like, you just brought up Mara. Like, it's not like he took over the game in scoring or anything. Like, it was rebounding and defense is really why he was on the team. But you could see that even Lindenborg, even Godot, everybody knew their role, what they needed to do. And even McKinney at the end there, where he hit that big three, like, he knew that he had to hit that shot. It had to be him because isn't he like the best three-point shooter on the team?
I think it's
a
up
pretty
there.
close match.
It is, honestly.
There's
But,
some really good.
but I mean, and both of them are coming back next year, which is really huge for Michigan.
Dusty
Really.
May, he had them locked in. I mean, the guys were locked in for the entire tournament. I never seen them take a game off. Like we saw that very first game with Duke in the tournament, they got scared. They almost lost, So I didn't see that from Michigan. They were locked in the whole time. So congratulations to the Wolverines.
Now, the transfer portal, which we've been talking about. Just y'all's thoughts, y'all's reactions. Kentucky, I know they've had a lot of talking in the transfer portal. So,
well, the thing with
that
Kentucky, I feel like we've been dealing with this transfer portal forever because other than most of the college teams, we usually restart every year with a brand new team.
Yeah.
That's been going on ever since Calipari was there. It wasn't ever the transfer portal; it was just one and done.
Yeah.
But now it's transfer portal, so having a brand new team every year isn't anything new for Kentucky fans, but it is new for all these other teams that are trying to figure out what to do. The weirdest thing for me is to see really successful players on a team who end up on a completely different team the next year. That's what's weird. And then you've got, teams like BYU who aren't known to get high recruits, who ended up with a high recruit, maybe the number 1 overall pick or somewhere in the top 3. So to see some of these smaller schools, I don't know if we would say BYU's a mid-major team, but some of these smaller schools who are grabbing these really high-class players has been interesting. And we've seen teams, that have gone on these runs.
It's that money. Money talks.
It is money. It's a weird landscape out there right now. But I'm curious from you guys, do you all feel like it's made college basketball better or has it hurt?
I think it's made it more entertaining, honestly. In the off season, during college basketball, it was forgotten. I feel like you would just be like, oh, your team's getting a little recruit here and there. Mm-hmm. Now it's just like you're getting free agents pretty much. You're going to see what your team is bringing in because you're going to have a whole new team next year. So I think it makes it more like NBA-like. I like it. I mean, obviously it brought Michigan a championship, so I'm not really mad at it.
I think it has undermined the McDonald's All-Americans because that used to be the big thing. Everybody would want to know who are these big McDonald's All-Americans. It doesn't really matter anymore if you're a McDonald's All-American or not because now you got guys who've been in the league. I mean, some of them have been in the league or the college for 4 years.
And they're grabbing them out of the G League now.
Yeah.
Somebody just committed from the G League. That's insane to me. I don't like that because that's pro play. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that.
I'd also agree with you because you have these guys who play professionally overseas because the rules are different overseas, and then they bring them over here and then they're ineligible to play. Yeah. But now we got guys coming from the G League. I agree with you. That should not be allowed.
Yeah, but on the whole NIL thing, I think that how college sports as a whole were going, it was almost inevitable because of the whole Reggie Bush thing, tampering or whatever. I forget exactly, but it transcends all of college sports. So I like it. Obviously, like Torian said, it did really help Michigan in winning their title, and it is the future. I think that it's here to stay, and I think I'm for it. I think that you have to be able to go be competitive, and if you're not willing to spend the money and get the good players, then I don't think you should just get away with that. What I'm trying to say is that I think NIL is here for the better. I really like the idea of these guys who come from maybe rougher backgrounds or having to go through certain things and being rewarded for how good they are at the game of basketball. And I really like it. I think that the NBA players, the one and dones, they'll never go away. That's set in stone. That's been set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm all for it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, for like the guys especially that are staying for like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they know they're not going to the NBA. They're not going to go to the NBA. If they can make a couple million just to play basketball in college, why would you not? You know what I mean? So I think it's good for them. And for the one and dones, they were going to make millions anyway. So, well, I mean, what's stopping them? They're still going to go to the NBA one and done. So,
I mean, really now it's just coming down to the alumni and the boosters for the schools. Like, for instance, Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas has been able to capitalize on having CEOs who are alumni. You know, we're going to have schools who just don't have that financial backing, who are not going to be able to compete, and it's going to be sad to see them go. But it's also changing the game. Like, freshmen are not that influential on college teams anymore. Like it used to be, when it was the years of the McDonald's All-Americans, they would come in. If you could grab like 2 or even 3 of those McDonald's All-Americans, you would have a really good team.
Yeah.
Now, you may get one, and he may not even start, and because you've got guys who've been in the league who may have won a championship with Florida their freshman year, and now they're in their junior year or senior year, and they're playing for Texas or Arizona or something like that. Like people who are getting experience from all these other different teams who are finally bringing it into their graduate year, which is like a 5th or 6th year senior, and they're taking that experience somewhere else. I like the fact that the players themselves have more of a say of where they can go and what they can do and things like that. So I like that, but we have taken education and college basketball strictly out of basketball now, and now it's just
they
basically
don't go to school.
Yeah, it's a business.
Yeah.
It's now college basketball is a business.
But I think even before, did they really go to school when they were?
Well, that's like
Depends on the school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. One and
yeah.
dones, they're not going to school. They're not going to college for 1 year, and they're there to go to the NBA. So.
That's true. Any other thoughts on the transfer portal?
I guess I'll add to what you said. I really like what you said about how like the one and dones would usually team up. I really like that NIL now probably more likely promotes an overall team. Like especially this year with Michigan. I mean, like you said, they were a deep team because they went into the portal. They got the additions they needed. I think that we're done with the years, and we've been done with the years where the one and dones are carrying teams to championships. Because I can't tell you the last time the first overall pick won a national title.
Right.
So I really like that it promotes being a good team, not one good player, a good team. But that's what I like that. That's what I like.
I mean, back to like Michigan, I feel like I could confidently say, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you take just one of those guys off the team, and I think they still would have won that championship.
I think so.
Like, I don't think there was one guy on that team that really like put them over the hump. I think it was, like you're saying, the whole team was the one that won that championship. You can still take one of those guys off, like subtract Mara, subtract Lindenberg. Like, they're still going to win. So
I mean, we lost our backup point guard who was averaging like 11, 12. So, and we still.
And even in the Final Four, I mean.
Yeah, Lindenberg got hurt.
A lot of the game against Arizona, and they still had like a 30-point lead at one point.
So I think you're correct on that.
So before we move on to the next one, before we leave transfer portal, have you all seen any names in the transfer portal that's kind of popped so far?
I think that we're speaking on that Louisville. Louisville has picked up, I think, like 3 like top 10 transfer portal guys, and I don't know what they're building over there, but I think they're going to be a team to watch out for next year. Definitely, they got like Carter Knox, they got somebody from Kansas, they got somebody from Oregon. They're building something over there.
Okay.
So, move on. I know we all got different NBA teams. Just want to know how y'all feeling about your seeding in the playoffs, the play-in. How y'all feeling about that?
I feel like me and you have more to talk about so far because you're a Detroit fan. I'm a Boston fan. 1 seed, 2 seed. How are you feeling about Detroit right now? I know Cade Cunningham's back.
Yep.
He seems to be okay. The one knock I feel like I have on Detroit, and I know we've talked about this before, but is a lack of experience, really championship experience. Usually, you see it in the past. at least these teams have at least one guy on the team that has some sort of like championship run experience. The last time Boston won, we had Drew Holiday on that team that was a big contributor to the mentality of that team. It wasn't like he put it all on the court, but it was that leadership, that mentality to kind of settle the team down when things get, when you're in the fourth quarter and you're down 10 points, you got to have a guy on the team that can calm everybody down and, make key plays. It doesn't have to be a three or anything like that. It could be a steal, could be a rebound, but just that leadership in the huddle I think helps. Do you have any worries about that?
Not really. He didn't win a championship, but he's been in the playoffs a lot. Tobias Harris, he's like an old guy that's really been in the playoffs.
He's come up big for you all lately too.
So I think we have that a little bit, probably definitely not as much as Boston, but we have that to where if we are in that predicament, I think we can get out of it. And I just think we're just a really good team overall. So I feel like I'm hoping we win it all, obviously, but I don't think we will.
Why not?
Because I just feel like it's like we're just getting started. You know what I mean? We just got our team. We traded some players. I just feel like overall, I think we'll make a deep run, Eastern Conference Finals, maybe lose in 6-7 games, and then next year we'll come back. But I just think, personally, I feel like we're definitely good enough. It's just like you said, that experience might.
Because I feel like the natural progression is like, especially for like a really good young team, is they make a push. And then they end up losing in like the conference finals or something like that. But then everybody knows like they're on the radar, like these guys are coming. Like I feel like last year that's what Oklahoma City did. Like they were a young team that's been building for a while, and then they finally put it together. Shea took that next step to become the superstar that he is. I feel like you all are kind of missing a couple of pieces. I do kind of feel like I don't think Tobias Harris is going to be that guy for you all. I mean, I'm a Boston fan, so we've played against him many times for the 76ers, so I don't have a lot of faith in Tobias Harris. And then I feel like outside of Cade Cunningham, like, say, some teams in their defensive plans, like they'll try to take away, or they'll try to let that guy, like say Cade Cunningham's that guy, we're going to let you get yours because we know you're a really good player, and we know you're going to be hard to stop.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to shut down everybody else, and we're going to let you get yours. Because sometimes that's what happens to teams that play LeBron. Like, we know LeBron's hard to stop. We're going to let him do what he does, but we're going to make sure that we shut everybody else down. So what happens? Who steps up for that if that happens?
I know our backup point guard. I can't really bring the name out right now. I kind of forgot. But he's averaging like 25, 40. Especially when Cade's been hurt, he's really been stepping up. We have a dude, Paul Reed, I think is his name.
He's been around League One.
He's a center. The last 3 games, I think he's averaged like 30 points almost. So I think we have the guys. It's just will they show up in the playoffs when it matters? That's what I don't know because we haven't been in the playoffs that much. So it's really hard to tell right now. So
let me ask you this, one more question, and then we'll move on to Ethan over there. So Cade Cunningham, he's been injured. Say something happens to him, he gets re-injured in the playoffs and misses a couple of games or one game or is not 100%. Can you all win?
I don't think we can win a series without Cade. I think we can win a couple games. I don't think we can. Maybe that against an 8 seed we can win a series, but against like when you're getting to the teams that have been there before, they know what they're doing. I don't think we can win a whole series without them. I could be wrong though, but that's just my personal opinion.
All right, so Ethan has no faith in the Eastern Conference, so why
Never do.
Why don't you tell us about the Western Conference?
The Western Conference, as I like to call it. But out west, I think that I'll start with the Lakers. I felt better coming into April, and then the game against Oklahoma City happened. But as a whole, I think the West is really competitive. The seeding for the Lakers is probably as bad as it gets because even if you beat Houston in some miracle of a circumstance, you're privileged enough to play the Thunder. And that's nobody's going to beat the Thunder in the West besides maybe Denver. But that's a story for another day. I don't know how I feel about the Lakers going into the playoffs. They kind of strung it together against some bad teams. I think they're on like a 2-game stretch where they're winning on a winning streak. But I don't have any faith in Luke Kennard to motion his way through the offense and be that number 1 guard. Other West matchups, I'm really eyeing the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. That's sort of turning into a rivalry nowadays. I mean, those two this is the 3rd time they're meeting in the postseason. Anthony Edwards, always a guy that turns it up in the playoffs. I mean, he's been to back-to-back Western Conference Finals in a very competitive West. And so Who knows what he's going to do this year? Denver's obviously loaded. This is probably the deepest bench they've given Jokic in his entire career. That's really going to help, especially in those 7-game series where some guys may be tired or some guys may just be injured. Injuries happen all the time. But I'm really confident that the West is going to be really entertaining. I will bring up the East as much as I can, but the East is a 2-team race. I don't think anyone's denying that. It's Boston and Detroit. New York's not going to do anything. They're horrendous on defense. Jalen Brunson's probably one of the worst defenders in the league.
Besides Luka?
Luka has steals. He turned it up.
I'm just messing with you.
Let's see. You got the Cavaliers who to address their playoff choking. They get James Harden, who's infamous for his playoff choking. Let's see. You got Toronto. They're way too inexperienced. Mm-hmm. And then the 6 is, I don't know who the 6 is, but it doesn't. No, it's the Hawks.
Yeah.
Does anyone else in this room think the Hawks are going to do anything?
The Hawks are a weird team.
I got more faith in the Hornets than I do the Hawks.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't really know. And I know the Hawks have been surprising, some teams. They put up a lot of points on some of these teams, and I'm still having a hard time figuring out where is that coming from. They are just even the collection of players on their team is weird. So I just have no faith that they'll be able to make it through it. Like you said, a full series. They can win a game here and they can blow out a team here. And I think the same thing for the Hornets. They may be able to blow out a team one game. But in the playoffs, you got to win best of 7. So you got to be able to put together long stretches and continue to fight. And I just don't see either one of those teams being able to make it through a full series. They're just too young, too inexperienced. I think it's going to be rough. But my question to you, Ethan, is, so out of the 2 teams, which one do you think would give, I guess, we'll just say the Western team?
Who would the Thunder rather play?
Who would put up the best fight?
Against the Thunder, the Celtics. The Celtics are in a very privileged circumstance because they're going to go into every playoff series they play with the best coach on the team, the best coach in that series. Yeah. Joe Mazzulla is pretty much a basketball mastermind. I mean, It seems that no matter how loaded or how thin the roster is, he can always seem to string something together. And I think that that's really going to help you in the playoffs. There are probably going to be a couple circumstances where we sit here and say the Celtics out-coached the opposing team. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be a big privilege through a weaker Eastern Conference. It's kind of come together near the end, but it's still pretty weak. But with that said, I don't see anyone stopping the Thunder. They're great on every level of the game. Mm-hmm. And especially since now they have that experience. A lot of people knock them when they got their first set of the 3 straight first seeds where they didn't have that experience. They get that experience, they win the title. I think they do the same this year, but Boston could very well be pesky because of their coaching and their ability to find good players at their strengths and play them to those strengths.
Yeah. Of course, I'm feeling good about Boston because we are finally healthy for the first time this entire season, and we've actually had a good season. So, we just put all those pieces together. Jaylen Brown has been playing amazing this year. He has seamlessly just stepped into Jason Tatum's spot as he's been injured as a MVP quality player, carrying the team. He's carrying a team that nobody thought should be, in the top of the East. So being able to do that, and now we've got him back. They're both playing really well together. The benches are playing really well together. It's like what I said about Michigan. Everybody kind of knows their role, which is what we need to do. And I think Joe Mazzulla is good about making sure everybody does know their role. When you've got Luka Garza coming off the bench and making meaningful plays, and really he's kind of reminiscent of what Al Horford was doing for us. We don't really need you to do too much. We just need you to find what is your job on the court, which is to rebound and to hit occasionally a few 3-pointers, which they can do. And then Keita, the center, who nobody probably knows his name, but he's been playing out of his mind this year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. I'm looking forward to it. So let me ask you all about Oklahoma, though. So Oklahoma, they've been injured this year. Like, Williams just came back. Shea was injured for a while. So they aren't 100% like they were last year. I mean, I know like at this point in the season, nobody's 100%. But could injuries be a potential downfall for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year?
I'll start. No. I'll be short and sweet. No. You've seen what they've done throughout the course of the season. Yeah, they've had skids. Everybody has skids. But even without Shea, I mean, they were winning meaningful games by double digits. There's no team better than them. I mean, like I said, they're good on defense. They're good on offense. They have the height, and they have the scoring abilities. You know, there are going to be so many guys on that team that, like, 30 years from now, we're going to know the names of still on the bench. Yeah,
You know they're getting a lottery pick this year?
They are.
Yeah.
Because the
Somebody
Clippers
just told me
lost.
that earlier.
They're only going to get better. That's the thing. So, in some miraculous way, if they don't win it all, they will be more than fine. But
And you got Jared McCain.
All right, quickly, what do you guys think about these play-in games that have happened? We had 2 last night, 2 the night before.
They've been.
Any
I think
comments?
they've been all really good. I think who we expected to win won. I think is what we said definitely. But
Portland, but
that's they're gonna lose.
They're gonna.
Yeah.
But
So any hope in any of the teams that played in the play-ins?
No, I don't. I think they could win some games. I don't think they'll win a series though.
No,
Me personally.
especially like in the West. The only thing that people were knocking the Spurs for was not having experience, and they get the lucky privilege of playing the Trailblazers that have close to none. So that's going to be a great first round matchup for San Antonio. Like you all have been discussing, Charlotte might put up a fight in a couple games, but I don't think they have it in them to go a full series with the 1 seed.
All right.
All right, we're gonna bring in a golf guru, RJ Farrell, legend in the golf industry here at Barstown Athletics. He's gonna go talk to y'all about how the Masters this past weekend has been.
All right, now we have RJ Farrell here, our local golf guru. So give me some thoughts on the Masters that just wrapped up. Roy McIlroy won. What are your feelings on it?
Yeah, so, I mean, this year's Masters was really special. You know, every year at the Masters, it's a tradition unlike any other. So the golf course is always in great shape and the field's always stacked. So it's always going to come down to be a great tournament. Result-wise, I was happy for Rory McIlroy. I think it's really only 3 other people have done it in the road, 1 back-to-back. So I thought that was really special. In my feeling, sadly, I wanted Cameron Young to win just because he's never won before, and I think he worked really hard gearing up towards the Masters, and you know, he won the Players a couple weeks ago. I think he was looking really good, but you know, Rory was just on top of his game. I was telling everyone after the first and second round that he was going to get it done just because he was looking really good. He was scoring really good. He had a bad third round, but I still told people that he's going to get it done. Bad first couple holes in the 4th round, but got it together, rode the ship, and got it done. So, yeah.
I think what was most impressive for me to watch was Rory came out of the gate hot. I mean, he shot up like 12 under really quickly. And then on that second day, he forgot how to play a couple of times and was hitting balls all over the place, who opened up the door for some of these people to kind of catch up. I mean, do not open up the door, not even a crack for Scotty Scheffler, and he was creeping up on him that last day. So he was able to end it in, a dramatic fashion. But, I mean, I give him all the credit. I know he has been fighting hard for a long time, Rory has. So to see him be able to put back-to-back Masters together, I think was pretty special. And to me, I don't hate it. I like him as a guy. I like him as a golfer. I think he's good for the game of golf. And I think he shows like younger players like how much determination that it takes to actually put in that. And he's more of a talker than Scotty Scheffler is, so I think that's good for the game as well. But yeah, were you scared at all for Scotty Scheffler creeping up there?
I mean, I knew Scotty was going to do well. Scotty's just one of those golfers where he doesn't hit a lot of bad shots. He goes out there and gets the job done a lot of the time. And although he didn't get it done this past weekend, he still got second place honors and still walking away with $2 million. It's a pretty good week.
All right, so we got the PGA Championship coming up. Who's your prediction?
Man, I'm hesitant. I'm not going to say Rory because it's just hard to win back-to-back Masters and go win PGA Championship. I mean, I really like Cameron Young, and I'm not saying that just because he had a good past weekend at the Masters. But man, he's looking really good, and I think he's really due for a breakout round breakout tournament at that coming up, and I think it's going to be that one. So really excited to watch him play.
All right, according to RJ Farrell, look out for Cam Young in the PGA Championship. All right, RJ, we appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time on TSC Talks. See ya.